Welcome back to another video. And you know what the breaking anime news is, it's been making the cycle for about a week, couple of days or so. Or at least in this video, at the time of recording of this video, it's been making the news. The new anime spin-off for Jujutsu Kaisen, as it follows Yuta's grandchildren following their journey throughout the Jujutsu Tech and their inevitable fight with aliens. Now, why'd they go this alien route? Because they already defeated the strongest sorcerer. So I think this was the only, route they could go to like up the ante and the stakes between these levels. Now, of course, the aliens has been around for more than a couple of hundreds of years, but since Gojo, Sukuna, Gojo, Sukuna, Yuta were around, they did not come upon Earth just because they saw them as too much of a threat. Yes. Now they are now coming to Earth essentially to see if they coexist. At least the one of the characters in it, according to some translations that are out there. They sent an ambassador to Earth to see if they can peacefully coexist to each other, as they're most likely refugees rather than invaders. Now most likely there will be some aliens, of course, antagonist wise, that are going to want to invade and take over Earth, but most probably just want to coexist and have a happy home, since they're most likely, according to what I see within like a passenger thing, they're most likely refugees and are running from a bigger threat than themselves that we'll see most likely in the manga much later. Now, of course, my only vice, my only thing, I will talk about it much later in a different video, is that since we are talking about Yuta and Maki's grandchildren, one of them of course has a heavenly restriction. The dude has heavenly restriction. Now, before y'all say anything, I did make a script. Maki and Yuta's grandchildren names are Tsuguri Okotsu and Yuka Okotsu, both being members of the Gojo clan, and Tsuguri most likely being the next head of the Gojo clan. Of course, in this manga chapter, it is revealed that Yuta dies, and of course Maki dies first, and there's been rumbling on the streets, or at least in the manga, I don't know where it comes from, that Megumin has died from a third grade 3 level curse in a back alley somewhere. Now, that is, of course, according to the streets. I don't know if it's confirmed or not, since I have not seen safeguarded evidence to point it out to me. It's not even in the official translations of not the official translations. It's not even in some translations for the manga. So it's, gradually unfortunate. Of course, there's some characters that still may be out there within this Jujutsu Kaisen spinoff. Yuta, of course, is still being talked about, since he's a death painting and he cannot age normally. While also Todo can still be out there. Hikari may be dead, since Hikari is a 3rd year, so he is much more older than Yuta, especially in this. But of course, some curse users live longer than some, so who knows. So Hikari can still be out there. Todo, Itadori, and that is most likely it. What I will soon like to see, of course, is if there's another 6 Eyes user. As we know, a 6 Eyes user is born once every generation, whether with the 6 Eyes, Infinity, one or the other, or a special case where you're born with both, as in Gojo's case. I'd be certain that they would give us one of those abilities. Of course, not to the level or strength of Gojo. Maybe a super young, powerful person that may have it, just because the Gojo clan may be more prominent in this series as they weren't in the other part of Jujutsu Kaisen. So hopefully we get to see that, while also aliens. But it's very exciting to see Jujutsu Kaisen come back in any sort of way, especially with the ending that it came to. Now, unfortunately, most of the main characters, the characters we fell in love with, are dead and or super old. So when we see them fight, it's rather a fight where they have to sacrifice themselves for the sake of the main characters, or teaching the main characters, or they're just there, with a cameo, give us some fan service here and there, maybe teach the main characters a couple of things, or tell stories about their younger days, of course. But outside of that, that's kind of it. I don't really see the aliens, or at least the present aliens that we're introduced to, being like the threat. Maybe they're the main antagonists this early on in the show, this early on into the manga, but they, of course, I think are running from something, since the first impression, or at least first translation, is they want to coexist. So they, of course, are running from something, at least in my thing. Now, I won't be doing it like a chapter review. You could like the video. If this gets 4 likes, I may do a chapter review. Other than that, like, subscribe. Shout out to JJK for coming out with this. Fortunately, Gojo will not be back, but maybe we'll see another Gojo. Hopefully. Well, not another Gojo, because then he'll have to write him out the story again. But like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.